All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. All das, was ich mich erinnern konnte, war, dass ich mich komplett alleine wiederfand. Ja. Oh. My head. Where was I? It was so dark. Wow. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. Hello! I'm not scared. Ah! I'm not scared. Ah! Alter, ist das Kacke? That house, where was I? Oh, who's that? There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? Guck mal, ein Kondom. Oh, das ist ein Lampenhalter. Ist das eine Katze? Oh, shit! Scheiße, Mann! Warum bist du so laut? Fucking Game! Oh, das ist nicht witzig. Nee, ich gehe hier weiter. Fick die. The desk had a computer and some papers on it and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Okay. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo looked like a store of some kind. Why did it look so familiar? Kann ich mir das angucken, dieses Foto? Grayskull! Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of here. Das ist halt echt nicht nice, ja, dass ich hier Treppen runtergehen muss. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset, she looked afraid. I took my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. Alter, guckt euch das Bild an. Was ist denn das für eine hässliche Frisur von der Person? Oder ist das ein Baum? Please! No weird sounds! A black and white photo looked like the man upstairs and his wife. I guess there was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Soll ich das taken? Liebste Grüße, Mina Meer. No. Ich habe das Foto da liegen gelassen. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. So just leave me alone, leave me alone. Ah, poor little rat. A thin grey mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? Yes. 'Cause I like myself some ready rat. A collection of rusty tools. These looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? Oh, it's me! Not me. I found a picture of a couple. It looked like it's been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind. Did I push the switch? It pressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. I am scared of everything in here. Okay, hier scheint nichts sich zu ändert zu haben. Ich habe den langsamen Modus an, damit niemand spammt und ich irgendwie hinterherkommen kann von dem, was geschrieben wird. Es ist voll uncool, ich schwöre euch. Das ist... I I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Naja, gewöhnungsbedürftig. Ist halt experimentell. The bathroom was incredibly clean. Every surface had been thoroughly wiped, and nothing seemed out of place. There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they was pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. Holy crap! The door was taped up and seemed to be stuck, but the smell, I guess, led to the kitchen. No. A baby room. For the baby. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. Maybe I found a way out. I must have moved it. I heaved the box forward and finally gave. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb the ladder? Hi, outside. My leg hurt like hell as I climbed down that ladder. The tunnel below was even darker, and the smell wasn't getting any better. But I had to get out of here and find my way home. Footprints in the dirt looked like more than one kind and a lot of traffic. Places all over were marked on the old map of town. The industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait, there were photos. Photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. Fick dich! Nur weil ich wollte das Bild extra nicht mitnehmen! Oh, Rachel, please be okay. I wanted to rush home, but I had to find a way out first, and I needed to see what else was down here. It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? Everybody. The desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old faded paper covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out, and illegible notes were written beside them in fade blue ink. Du kannst den langsamen Chat-Modus nicht deaktivieren, Manuela. I could only make out few letters. Okay. Okay, das sind die Namen, ne? None of it made any sense to me. Warte, ich will das nochmal sehen. Das sind Haken, das ist halt voll uncool. Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom, something wet. Oh, baby. Some kind of homemade rack, slung together with poorly cut wooden rope. Bis dann, Anigul! It was caked with blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? Kann ich das anmachen? No. Okay. There looked to be bones half dug in the ground, and the remains looked old, but who put them here? Sieht aus wie Mittelfinger, die mir durch die Wand zugestreckt werden. Fick dich! Fick du dich! Sollen aber Kerzen sein. Das sieht ja auch aus wie... Das soll Wasser sein, aber es sieht aus wie eine Person, ey. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing here? Overlord. Danke, dass du ein Abo da lässt, aber ich bin kein Let's Player. Ich lese Geschichten vor. In Hörspielvariante. Creepypastas. Horrorhörspiele. Da kannst du gerne mal reinschauen. Und dann kannst du ein Abo da lassen, wenn du möchtest. Aber Let's Play mache ich halt nur in Livestreams mal. Nicht, dass du dich wunderst, dass der Content nicht stimmt, ne? Shut the fuck up! Ist ja gar nicht laut. I remembered noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. What? Rajaska, hallo. Shut the f... There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Yes! Maybe the rope would make that rope easy. Hello, skeleton! What brings you here at this night time? The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? Yes, I did! I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. Excuse me, dear sir. Ich bin hier und verkaufe Lampen. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out, danger due to cave-in. I don't want to keep out. My hands tingled from what the burn of sliding down the rope. What? My hands tingled from the burn of sliding down that rope. It was lucky I found that. Who knows what would have happened if I had jumped down. Still, it was all I could do to not have rushed out of that awful place, that wreck. Those terrible twos. What the hell was going on back there? The metal door groaned as I leaned into it, causing my heart to skip a beat at the sound. As I peered ahead into the dark of the next room, I worried that I should have taken that gun I saw. Was für eine Knarre? Ich hab keine Knarre gesehen! But me with a gun? An exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe someone crawled through here, but it was so high up that it must have been a saw landing. Yeah. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet. And there was grass smeared within it. Der Pfeil sagt da. Ene, mene, mu. Und raus bist du. Hello? Sticking out. Did I take that tape? I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyway. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? This supposed to be the exit? I didn't think so. A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Yes, I did! Somehow the knife seemed a better idea than the gun in that tunnel. I'm gonna slap you so hard, you won't even know I'm there. Please don't. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. I'm not sure about this. Should I do it? Should I do it? Ich mach das jetzt einfach. Ah! 3 und... Das sind die einzelnen Röhren, aber ich weiß halt nicht, ob ich die alle ausmachen soll. Ich habe halt keine Ahnung, wofür die sind. Da ist ein Rohr, da ist ein Rohr. Und die pumpen alle irgendwie. Ich sollte vielleicht in die erste Tür zurück. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from it inside. Oh shit! So. Okay, der ist immer noch versperrt. Ah. Turning those walls must have drained the water that was in this room. There was a ladder I could reach. I wanna go down those ladders. Was ist das? Looked like the water drained out from that grate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating. Yeah. Give me that. But it was so odd shaped, I had no idea what it might open. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? Ja, ich habe auf jeden Fall einfach nur die Dinger... Oh mein Gott, bin ich hier rot? Was ist da passiert? Ich habe einfach nur die so lang gedreht, bis sie aus waren. The door was locked. Ist wahrscheinlich einfach nur... Ich würde gern zurückgehen und den Schlüssel bei der anderen Tür hinten ausprobieren. Ich gehe mal zurück. Please don't kill me, game. Aber ich will den Schlüssel benutzen! Ach so, wie lange ich an Kraschka gesessen habe. Ich habe gerade gelesen, sag mal, wie oft hast du Kraschka gegessen? Und ich so, what? Wie lange ich an Kraschka gesessen habe, ist eine gute Frage. Ich habe echt, ehrlich gesagt, gar nicht mal so drauf geachtet, wie lange ich daran gesessen habe. Das Ding ist halt, ich habe ja auch noch, na gut, es waren diesmal nicht so viele Gastsprecher. Bin ich jetzt hier reingegangen? Nee, das war ja, okay. Ist halt trotzdem gruselig, auch wenn es niedlich sein soll. Ich kack mir halt... Oh oh. Eine Kamera. Okay. Oh shit, I found another dead body, a sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a keyring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? Yeah. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. Danke. There was a hint of fresh air here. I must have been near an exit. But I wondered, what did that key I found at the sewer worker do? And what was on the videotape I found? This must have been the other end of that ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gotten past the flooded room with this. Ich habe jetzt wieder einen Keyring, ne? Also da redet man mit dir mal ein bisschen über über Pixelart, ne? Oder wie geil Pixelart ist, ne? Und du sagst, Pixelart ist scheiße. Ja, ich mach das mit dem GDD. Oh, I used the keyring. The shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing from the shelf. There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wondered what was on that VHS tape I found. Did I play the tape? Oh no. The video showed a man right there in the sewers being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched like somebody had tampered with it. It looked like there could have been two men. Oh shit, no! Hallo? Was? Habe ich alles gedatet, oder? Please don't kill me. The knife I now carried my boot weighed heavily upon my mind as did my sore leg. The thought of that videotape, though, still gave me the chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen? And what was in that locked room? As I climbed that ladder, I felt a terrible need to get out as soon as possible. Reaching the top, I pushed on the heavy lid above me, and the putrid smell of that sewer gave way to the scent of pine trees. Ich will nicht sterben! Please, dear Lord, let me get an old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended, so I climbed. Did I extend the ladder? Yeah, I do. I popped the latch and brought that ladder down. And I climbed that ladder. And... Shut the fuck! Na, geht weg! Verpisst euch! Hallo, haut rein. Bin mal weg. What's this? In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was beat up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Yes! I folded the wallet and returned it back to my pocket. It looked nicked up somehow and really worn. There weren't any cards of ID in it. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license. Shit. Did I put this here? Or was somebody else carrying it? Ja, und jetzt soll ich wieder gehen, oder was? All that I need is Fledermaus-G. Ich gehe mit meiner Laterne! Geh weg! Geh weg! Was? Ich muss wieder runter? Nö! 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 Oh, scheiße! Scheiß! Wo soll ich hin? Da ist kein Weg mehr weg! Oh, da geht's weiter, oh mein Gott. Geh weg! Geh weg! I tried the little key I had fished out of the murky puddle sewers. It fit, and I heaved open the rusty door. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had becoming strangely chilly. Chill. Chill, 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 chill. Ist das nicht wieder einfach nur das Haus? Ey. Ah, das sind mehrere Augen. Die können wir alle gehen. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Hello? My name is Toni. An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course! The map that I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf, his notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? Nee. Nee. The ancient ticket booth was falling apart and covered in dust and grime. Stacks of paper lined the counter, faded remains of old sketches and report. Among the papers were newer-looking sheets covered in scribbles and illegible notes. Come to think of it, the man in that house had kept similar scribbles hidden on his bookshelf. And he had notes on the water tower outside too. I guess he could have been coming here, but why? What was he using this old station for? For being awesome. Ja, Wespen sind mein Nemesis. Was? Worauf soll ich anspringen? Kekse? Ja, Wespen und... Weißt du, ich vergleiche Wespen immer wie Assis auf der Straße, weißt du? Du gehst irgendwo einfach nur auf der Straße lang, die Wespe sieht dich, so, du guckst sie an und sagst so, hast du mich angeguckt? Guckst dich an, das sind Wespen. In the torn opening of that ruined train were heaps of dirt and stale water. At the bottom I thought I saw a scrap of cloth. As I looked closer, I could see that it was definitely some kind of nylon. Maybe a windbreaker or some other outdoor clothing. There was too much of a mess on the ground to see any kind of footprints, but someone, or something, had definitely trod a regular path. The wind was biting through the thin clothes and I wasn't sure what else to make of the place. Ja, geil! Wo soll ich denn jetzt hin? Wo soll ich denn jetzt? Wo soll ich hin? Ich will nicht sterben! Scheiße! Also, Seporian dann eher mir ähnlich. Ich bin nämlich auch so. Ich raste auch richtig hart aus. Auch wenn ich es nicht so meine. Ich werde halt eher stinkig. Ja, toll. Und jetzt? Jetzt bin ich in der Sackgasse, wa? Playlist for you. Hummeln und Bienen sind halt voll chillig. Hummeln sind so, hey yo Bro, was geht? Klack, klack, klappity klou. Und Bienen sind halt auch nett wie Scheiße. Also, super nett. Wo soll ich denn jetzt lang, Mann? Ja, aber Mücken, weißt du, den verpasst du einen kleinen Slap und gut ist. Sagst du, ey, Mücke. Bam, 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 bam. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking in those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom. But the rest was too faded to see clearly. Oh, no! No, go back! I don't like this. A dry old picnic table sat lonely amongst the trees. It had carvings on and marks from years of previous campers. As I tried to read some of the names and the marks, I'd idly thumped the knife I'd found. If I wanted to, I could have marked something on the table, did I? No. I slipped the knife back into my boot and left the table alone. Warum sollte ich so dumm sein, Alter? The path ended in a cold-looking river. I wasn't sure if it was safe to cross like this. Did I cross like this? Yes, I did! And I was awesome. Echt? Wespen stehen unter Naturschutz? Alter, ich slap die Dinger halt richtig hart weg, Mann! Ich war von der Arbeit aus auf einer Grillparty letztes Jahr. Komm da an, richtig geile Riesenhütte, massiv viele Leute da. Ich gehe zu dem Grillstand, nehme mir einen Burger, beiß in den Burger und spuck ihn aus. Und auf dem Boden liegt eine zerteilte Wespe. Und meine Zunge wird dick. So ging die Party los. Und dann lief ich die ganze Zeit mit so einer Lauchzwiebel durch die Gegend im Mund. Also wir haben gerade 2 Teenager-Leichen gefunden. I had no idea who these girls were. I didn't touch the gravesite, did I? No, I did certainly not touch the gravesite. It was best to leave this alone and find a way out of the woods. Ja. Ja, sagen wir mal so, ich slap die nicht, wenn ich in meinen beiden Händen was zu essen habe und mich nicht wehren kann. Was soll ich denn machen? Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Yeah, of course it's my credit card. No one's supposed to be. Ich wette, dass wir am Ende eigentlich nur der Killer sind. So. Through the fence, I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. Okay, da geht's jetzt nicht lang. Da müssen wir also... You know it feels like... Who's there? I'll fuck you up, motherfucker! The cheap dome tent slept... Oh! Oh, das ist von den Mädels wahrscheinlich der Scheiß. Did this tent belong to those two girls? There was a fire pit there, it was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Oh. What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's flipping over here? The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. It must have been the exit of the other side of the woods. I'd finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Ja, nee, ich will aber mich schon noch umsehen. No. No, no, no. Don't look. No, no. Warnt mich das Spiel gerade davor, da reinzugehen? The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. There was a damp-smelling plank leaning against the stall door. I might have been able to cross the river with it, did I too? I managed to carry the plank on my arm, so I didn't get in my way. Ja, aber ob das so clever war... Ich bin doch auch so durch das Wasser gegangen. Wahrscheinlich werde ich am Ende einfach nur... Wird man mir gesagt, yo! I almost clawed my way through the gate to be out of that hateful forest. The image of that shallow grave was still fresh in my mind. Those two women had obviously been camping here, in there before they'd been killed, but I hadn't found any clues as to who had done it or why. I shrugged off the thought. I still had so far to go, and I was getting cold and tired of that. Please don't kill me, game. Griffidus. Here's Johnny. Na, deine Mutter Deutsch-Rap? Was geht's? Ah, eine Motorhead-Jacke, cool. Motorhead. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. No! It was definitely not just a wind. Run! Run for your life! Oh, run for your life! One of those lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. I'll fuck you up, motherfucker! The door was locked shut. There was still a little electronic box on the handle. Danger closed for repairs. Oh, there was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off the other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Yes, the board contained yellow clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked there. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. The power panel looked like it was shut off. Yes, I turned on that wait a minute. Dirty work clothes, old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped. Scratched out. The face was unrecognizable. Power panel looked like it was shut off, and I turned it on. It was shut down. Card slot. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. The door had been hastily boarded up. Hastily! Hastily, they said. That's not good. Alles klar, Johnny. Hau rein. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented, like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked here. Another panel that I hope could get me back where it's gone. A utility shelf, crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Yeah, I took that hammer so I could take care of that stupid door. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Yeah, I took that card and I was like, God damn, thanks for the card. Yes, power back on. I pushed the switch. No, the power panel said wasn't working. Did it take it yet? What? Wow. Push them buttons. Pa la 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 push the button. Pa la 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 push the button. I struck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily after I'd removed the planks I left on the floor. This was my locker. There in the factory, it stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I'd taken that picture home when the factory closed. The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol at this place. Rega! Oh, wait a second. The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use get your data? Oh, what's that? There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump through the room, but my leg hurt enough as it was, but I could see it. Yes, I jumped. Oh, man. My leg hurt like hell. There was crumbled up a letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read the letter? Yes, most of the letter was violently scratched out with that looked to be a bottles. It was really getting to me. Maybe I was just distracted. Who went up there and used that room? As I exited the factory, I didn't recognize where I was going. My head ached terribly and my leg was a mess. Dude, ich hab doch extra den einen Raum mit dem Strom wieder angemacht. Da wollte ich doch jetzt hin. No! Fuck off! Ah! Das sind keine coolen Sounds, das ist einfach nur laut. Das ist nur laut, das ist alles. Alles laut. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food in slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it? But you looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for the faint sound of a television. Excuse me. I'd like to watch some television. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. I needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. Oh, no! No, man! Oh, no, I couldn't believe that it was what I was seeing. Norman, my co-worker, and one of my few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been stabbed or something, trying to get up. Norman, you deserve better than this. Did I close his eyes? No. I was too scared about Rachel to stay there another moment. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Yes, I did. I found a hairpin. I could use that to open the door, I hope. Das ist Horror. Also die Atmosphäre ist creepy. Ich habe zwischendurch echt Schiss, dass einfach nur irgendein Charakter auftaucht und mich einfach killt. Aber ich denke mal, dass wir einfach der Killer sind und dass uns tatsächlich gar nichts passiert. Despite the shock of already finding Norman in that state, seeing this turned my stomach just as much. It was one of Rachel's old fall coats. What was it doing there? Was she okay? Rachel? Oh my god, there was a well-maintained gun cabinet here in Norman's room. I didn't know much about the guns, but it looked like they kept a few hunting rifles. Why did you not defend yourself, Norman? Ich weiß, warum Norman gestorben ist und nicht einfach mit einer Knarre den Mörder gekillt hat, weil wir einfach der Mörder sind. Ich glaube, also es scheint alles sehr aktuell darauf hinzulaufen, dass wir Normans Killer sind. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. Haben die Ben & Jerry's? Ben & Jerry's? Neh, nur Häagen-Dazs. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. Geil. Ben & Jerry's geschmolzen. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. Ja, das ist ein Gewitter. Hat er auch vorher gesagt, oh mein Gott, es fängt an zu regnen. Und dann, genau dann, als wir in das Haus reingegangen sind, ne? What else would I be forced to endure before the end? Seeing Norman up there, dead. It turned my stomach just to think of it. But I couldn't put it out of my mind. How was he involved in all of this? This was getting worse and worse. I was starting to feel incredibly vulnerable. As I stepped out into the rain, I realized how close I was to home. I hoped I would soon find my answers. All that I need is the rhythm divine. Wow, ich gehe einfach durch die dritte Tür und denk mal, ja, hier wohne ich bestimmt. The neighborhood's local postbox. A letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I take a look at the letter? No. I didn't touch the letter. I had more pressing concerns. Excuse me. Oh no! I bet this is my place. I had entered our backyard. I knew it. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through the clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday? Or sometime before? Das Spiel ist gar nicht laut. There was a small pile of mail on the floor, in front of the mail slot. How long had it been away? Had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it? Yeah. I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The front door was locked from the inside. I couldn't go out, though. I needed to see if Rachel was okay. Rachel! Yeah, old-fashioned keyhole. I had found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me, reminding me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable, but did I keep it anyway? Yes, of course. I replaced the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Stolen identity? Our television. I'd purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was too late. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. Our sink, which needed to be replaced, one of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't got around fixing it yet. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. I'd like to take a dump in that toilet right now. My laptop had been left on, and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Verschwinde! So. I pocketed the key. I got the key! That trip we took out west. Did I open this suitcase? I wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase contents. Inside were a few days' worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket. Where was she planning to go? Where was she planning to go? Hallo, Lukas! Wo war eine Tür, die ich öffnen wollte? Na. Wahrscheinlich muss ich jetzt zum Keller. I unlocked the basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key. Yes, I took that key. Yeah. There were old clothes, tools, and other things obviously hadn't thrown out yet. I had put up with this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the apartment. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was fully installed. I might have been able to find it enough. Okay, gut. Ich wette, da drin finden wir die Leiche von Rachel oder so. Das ist halt voll so, what the heck. Die nächste Creepypasta. Nee, tatsächlich. Die nächste Creepypasta dauert noch ein bisschen. Ich mache gerade ein bisschen langsamer mit den Produktionen. Also kann ich noch nichts dazu sagen. Es kann diese Woche was rauskommen, was Kleineres und vielleicht erst nächste Woche was Größeres. So, it looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? There was an old crowbar. Yeah, I took that crowbar. I lifted a heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Gutes Nächtle, Yvonne. Aber wahrscheinlich ist das Spiel jetzt gleich vorbei. Nicht mal mehr 5 Minuten. Schätze ich. Did I break through the wall? Yeah. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. Hello, Lutram. This was it. Was Rachel down here? Was she okay? Rachel. Don't look. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile, to see what lay within, but I knew I had to come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Oh no. My hands trembled as I pulled back off the layers of cloth. There at the center, on all the dirt and mess, was my beloved, my Rachel. Her arms were bruised all over and slashed repeatedly. Her clothes were ripped and torn, and even through all that sickening blood, it was obvious she had been stabbed to death. The knife I had carried all this way suddenly seemed like a poison. What had happened to Rachel? Who did this to you? I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly, exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Okay. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? Yes. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? Maybe I could use some Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. Within the few broken pieces that remained in the mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear another look. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. It was the keycard I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Did he? No. Somebody else was using that locker room. I was. The laptop had finally run out of power. Ich glaube nicht, dass ich heute noch eins spiele. Also nichts, was man durchspielen kann. The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. I still loved the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort then. From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. I'm so grievous, grieving over grief. Grief are the grievous and the grievous must be teeth. Grief are the grief. My old office safe sat on the floor. It used to have a digital passcode. The safe used an 8-digit code. What was that damn code again? I don't know! 1969! Damn it! I couldn't remember! No! If I only knew that code! The mail still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? There was nothing for me here anymore, no reason to stay in that house. Did I leave? I felt like I was guilty. I could take this warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick the knife? Yes. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had already seen too much. I knew I needed to escape that nightmare, but what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over? So did I leave that house forever? Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped in some way to stay grounded. It's kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctors' reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear, I had tried to give up, I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truth. But I knew it was the final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. Even the man I had found in that old place was a mystery. Why he was dead or who had done it to him was something I could even begin to understand. Or why, for that matter, I was in that damn room in the first place. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. So the security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like 2 people. But who was it that was attacked? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extremes? Hello, Sosa! Hello, Sebo! Sebos! The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I had been to that forest, and even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought, that would cover my tracks, so I wouldn't be blamed for all this. The nearby forest especially brought back the terrible sensation of finding those half-dug bodies across the river. I would rest easier if never entered another wood again. Whatever had happened, I knew at least that Norman wasn't the one who kept going back to that factory. I hoped it meant that he had nothing to do with the god's violent end, but who had been rooting through those lockers, or drinking in that boarded-up room. After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. But all I had found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Poor Norman was dead, but I had no idea what had happened to him. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess in a way it did. But how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I'd started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked. To think of it now, our house used to feel so lively, so warm. But coming into the kitchen, I felt only a cold, empty tension. Every terrible thought I had up to that point was suddenly a possibility. But nothing could have prepared me. My wife, dead, ruined, discarded. Rachel's death was a terrible mystery. It was a terrible mystery to me, one that would haunt me forever unless I did something about it. For what solace can a man take in the death of his wife? What comfort can be offered? Rachel had been taken from me, and I might never know why. As I swung open the door and stepped out into the air, I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife. Just the thought of her, again cold and inert, shook me from the head. What would I do? Who could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving beneath my feet, and I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run. Creepy Music und Creepy Game. Dieses Spiel ist creepy, weil du merkst, dass du alle gekillt hast in einem Sleepwalking-Modus. In einem Sleepwalking-Modus. Home is dedicated to my wife Nancy. Watch your back. Nice. The end. Share your story, connect with us and check out our other games. Yay! Das war doch cool. Das... Ah! Wow! Yay! Ogami! Dankeschön! Wie von dir? Yay! Entschuldigung. Das Spiel ist super laut, ey. Ich muss jetzt mal... Wow. Oh, gute Nacht, Lucifer Black. Wow. Wow. Das war mal ein Game, Alter. Boah. Also im Endeffekt ist uns nie was passiert, aber die Spannung wurde halt trotzdem aufrechterhalten, ne? Aber ich gehe mal davon aus, von dem, was wir mitbekommen haben, also es klingt ja sehr stark danach, dass der Hauptcharakter nichts weiter getan hat, als zu schlafwandeln und im Schlafwandel einfach alle zu töten, was halt irgendwie ein bisschen weird ist. Aber hey, was er wurde.